So today we are just going to look at all the cool tone or cool tone friendly blushes, cheek products, highlighters, contour, just a little bit of everything having to do with cheeks. I am a sucker for a good blush. I think it just really makes very, very fair and cool tone skin come back to life. Let's go ahead and get started with all the good things that I found in the last 2 months. Let's go. Let's start with something brand new that I just found from the Heart% brand. They have really been a great new find for me. A lot of cool tone options there and just generally beautiful, sort of a little more natural looking makeup. Really, really happy with them. Okay, so look at this purple. This looks so much like some of the purple blushes from Phytosurgeons, but I would say this one's different because it is really, it's very balmy and it is very, very light. It just gives you a little bit of it just cools down everything a little bit, but also gives you a little bit of gloss. Really love this as an option because a lot of times the purples can be, even though I like them, you really have to sheer them out. This one comes sheer, so it's much more wearable, and it's one of those things where you can't quite put your finger on it. You can tell that everything's been cooled down and you've got this sort of nice glow, but you can't tell exactly what you did. And I love that. I think that's wonderful. And it comes with, this is supposed to be both cheek and lip. So this would be for the lip. Now this is, it's actually really nice. It's really jelly-y. And I'm actually not going to put this on right now, but this is definitely, it's cooler toned for sure. It's a, you know, like a nice medium sort of to light berry. And if you want that sort of blurred out look on your lips, it's nice that it has that as well, but that's not really as much of interest to me as this lovely purple sort of glossy gel. I love this. So definitely, they have other colors. I haven't tried them yet, but this was the cool tone one that I really saw and was drawn to. So definitely check this out. Okay, next, I did go over this in a reel, which I'll show, and this is a great new find. Now this is more, I would say, not exactly cool toned. It's like a solid neutral medium pink. But I think it works really well with cool tone skin, and it's gonna actually work, I think, for a lot of skin types, unless you're very dark. Look at how pretty and how glossy that is. It has so much slip, which makes it blend in and seem so natural on the cheek. I absolutely love this. And then you don't even need it because it's so glossy itself, but it comes with this amazing gloss on top of it. So gorgeous. Isamaya is a new brand to me. They're very sort of art house, beautiful packaging. I will say that like not everything there really appeals to me, but so far everything I have tried has been really high quality, and I do love that they have a few cool tone options that actually are going to work for most of us. So definitely have been reaching for this quite a lot, especially when I have like a very natural, refreshed look is what I want for the day. Something that doesn't look like I have a look. It just looks like my skin. I really love this. Now, along those lines, I also really like the new Dior sticks. I will say there is a lavender and then there's this like cotton candy pink. It seems like a bit of a scary bubblegum pink, and it is, it kind of is, but the way that it is so glossy and it shears out, it totally can look very natural on somebody who is very cool tone. I really love this formula. Honestly, it's definitely a bit expensive. It's a splurge, but it's another one of those very sort of slippy, beautiful formulas. I wish they had sort of like a natural cool mauve. They have they're two cool tones, and rosewood is not cool, just so you know. I'm returning that. I opened it, looked at it, went, nope, that's orange. Don't be fooled. Online it kind of looks like it might be cool toned. It's not. They have the lavender, which is very unnatural looking. I mean, it's beautiful, but it's pretty unnatural looking and expensive. And then they have this one, which I do think you can get a really pretty, more natural, not totally natural look out of it, but something that just really like cools down and makes sort of fun, some sort of lighter look that you're going for. So these are expensive. Do I think they're worth it? I mean, yeah, actually, but only if you are really wanting this color and you like a really sort of light kind of a blush. I'm sure you could build these up, but I wouldn't want that bright pink on my face built up. I feel like that would be kind of a little bit clowny. So that's that. Okay, now I have talked about these before, but I never showed you the lighter one. And this is the new Sacheu, I'm not sure how you say it, Cheek Stay In. These actually are really, really nice. The only issue is if you have dry skin or if you're working over a lot of powder, they are they're meant to be a stain and they are meant to sort of set down. So they start out as sort of a gel and then they set down really quick. However, the colors are gorgeous. I love using this one. Like, it's, look at that, true mauve. Oh, this makes me so happy when I see a true mauve. It's pale, it's sort of muted out. It looks like some of the Phytosurgence purples. It is perfect. I put this on my lips, I put it on my cheeks, but if you put it on your cheeks, you have to move really, really quickly with it. Like if you go dot, dot, if you don't want it to look like dot, dot, you have to really kind of like quickly move. Like don't do two cheeks at the same time. Do this cheek and then do that cheek. So love these. The applicators work just fine, although the lighter pink one, it sort of blooped on me a little bit. So I'm still trying to use up this. Now I've seen this light pink on somebody with more of an olive tone and it looks creamy and really, really natural. I would say that on our lighter, cooler tone skin, you can sort of blur it out, but it does not look as natural on us. It picks up these, you can see like my blue veins, it sort of picks that up and it makes it a little bit of a brighter pink. So this one's not my first go-to. I prefer this one and I like to just, I almost use this as like a really nice contour. And then I really, really blend it out because that's a really natural color on me, whereas this one is not so much. It kind of keeps that brightness. So if I were to choose out of the two of them, even though I am super fair, I like the mauve one, and it is one of the very rare, truly mauve cheek products that I have seen. And they both work great on the lips. I might travel with this. It's a little bit one and done. So yeah, I love these. This was my intro to this brand and so far really, really impressed. So that's that. Now let's talk about Adept Cosmetics. They just expanded their line into some cream blushes and I have to say these are really nice. Again, if you are looking for purple and you want something really balmy and natural, these guys do have it. This is like, this reminds me very much of the Phytosurgence, but it is a tiny bit warmer, but it is cooler than a lot of the other like purple options that I've tried, and it is just a little more sheer, and that I think makes it really wearable. Again, this is one that I would definitely use as sort of like a little bit of contour here. You know, if I'm contouring with my blush, I almost go to a purple or sort of a, if I'm going a little warmer, like a burnt burgundy kind of color. Now the one that I actually really like from them is this pink, I think it's Pink Flush. This one is something that looks really, really natural, really natural. Now, maybe not right there, but whenever I work it into my cheeks, this one is just, again, that nice fresh pink where you can't quite even tell that maybe you have it on. And it just looks like maybe you're flushing because it's got that nice, really translucent quality. The packaging is interesting. I don't know if it works for me. They show up actually not in these packages. They, well, it's not coming out now, but I've had a little bit of trouble because they magnetize inside this packaging. Sometimes they fall out. And then these two magnets is what keeps the top on. And I will say, as much as I like them, they were super balmy, and I was like absolutely in love with them when I very first got them. I've only had them for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and they are already, there's a dry film on the top, even though I'm keeping these on top. So packaging, I think, needs to be worked on just a little bit, but the colors and the formula are fantastic. I wish they didn't dry out so quickly. Yeah. So what I think I might do with these is, because I did really like them, is I may just use a little bit of Vaseline or something like that and use that to loosen them up and keep that film from forming on the top, and then they'll spread a little bit easier too. So had to go over them. I really love these, but there are some, now that I've had them for a little while, I have to say there are some caveats. There's a little bit of packaging issue, I think, with this, since this is a brand new launch for them. Okay, so we're still sticking with sort of the creamy blushes and wet blushes. These two from Pixie, one of them is a highlighter, one of them is a blush, and I love these. These are great, especially I think if you have oilier skin. This is definitely a little bit warmer of a pink, but it's a really natural looking pink when you have it on. Again, this is, a lot of times they look a little bit bright at first, but when you sort of shear them out, that's really, really natural looking for a lot of people, and that makes it a lot easier to wear, honestly. I mean, just the littlest bit on somebody as fair as us can make a big difference. And the highlighter, I actually really like this too. It really depends on the skin day that I'm having, but this is just a really like subtle highlighter, but it's a cool pink highlighter, and it really tends to, like, if your makeup look is looking a little too dry, you can just use it to sort of juice it up just a little bit without it looking like you have grease on your face. You know, the Pixie, these sticks have been popular for a long time because honestly they're really nice. So it's drugstore, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think these are a good option if you're not wanting to go to like the Dior stick, which is a lot more expensive. The Dior stick's a little bit nicer of a formula, a little cooler than this one, but you get some similar results. So I always like to throw these in because, you know, they're a really good option. Okay, now these Morphe cream blushes, they are very much like the Patrick Ta, and they're also like the Patrick Star one size ones. These are the two coolest ones that I could find, and I did do a reel which I'll show you. These I think are very popular because they are like a dupe that is you know, half the price of those other ones. They are so pigmented, I have trouble wearing these. So I had to mention them, and I did want to show them, but I really don't reach for these. However, if you like a really bright look and your skin, you're so cool tone, but you're not as fair as me, I gotta say, I mean, these have a ton of pigment. I actually kind of love this bubblegum pink. It's kind of obnoxious, and sometimes that's exactly the Barbie look that I want. I mean, I'll just throw a little bit on. Oh, yeah. But I will say it's nice and balmy. I've had these for about a month. They haven't dried out yet, so definitely very wearable. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that on the other side. But I would say that these are not something that I reach for, mostly because it is so bright. And if you've been following me for any amount of time, you know I am not a huge fan of like big bright colors. Even though I can wear them, it's just not my first choice. So these are both really pretty, but buyer beware. They are intensely pigmented, and that is very difficult for very fair skin to wear. But they are cooler toned. This one's cooler toned. This one's cool toned. So good options in case you hadn't checked them out yet. Okay, and last but not least, in the cream sort of, well, actually it's not last. I have one contour that I'm gonna do that's cream, but this is one of my absolute favorite new items. I use this all the time. It is so expensive. This is that glossy cream cheek and lip sort of product from Westman Atelier. I absolutely adore this. It is so moisturizing and balmy that at least me with my dry skin lately, it is always something that I like to use as sort of a last little step to sort of bring anything that I over powdered back to life and make it look like I'm not just like dead dry. It gives you that nice see-through, just, I mean, it's just a step above. It is expensive, but I use this all the time. I love it. I use it on my lips as well, especially when they're dry to start. And this gives you a really natural look that is definitely cool toned. They finally came out with a cool toned version and I just love it. This is one of those ones where it's like, it's really expensive. Do I think that it's worth it? Yes, absolutely. I gotta say, a lot of the skin products from Westman Atelier, they're just a cut above. They're really nice. They really are. So this one, if you wanted to splurge, I think is totally worth it. Okay, now final cheek cream product. This is super cheap. This is from Essence and it is a cool tone contour and it is legitimately super cool toned. So if you are looking for just a bargain, pretty smooth cool tone contour, my first choice is actually the Sephora one. It is like so creamy and I love how that blends on older skin, but this one for like $3.99 is great. It is very, very cool toned, and if you are looking for just a little take it with you kind of like travel one, or you just want one on a budget to play with, this is perfect. It actually does exactly what you want it to do. It is cool toned and it's not super, I've had it for about a month as well, and it's not all dried out or anything like that. It is actually pretty easy to blend, not too patchy. So that's a good option there. Okay, so let's finish up with some powder versions of, you know, some cool tones. Now this one is from NYX and it really is meant to be a highlighter, but I use this all the time as a nice light cool toned blush that is got some highlighter in it for sure. It is actually quite blingy, but if you go really, really light with it, I actually find that it's not too hard to wear and it is super cool toned. It is really, really pretty. It is definitely that cotton candy pink, but it's NYX, so it's not too expensive. It is definitely, I mean, I'm never gonna get through this entire pan, but I mean, it's a solid highlighter type blush. It reminds me a lot of the Kosas one. This Kosas one is actually really good as well. I love their formulas. This one is sort of a little less blingy, but it does have some of that in it, but really similar, only this has got more highlighter. This one actually does have, it's a more of a subtle highlighter in it, but similar tones and colors, and definitely not near as expensive. So, I mean, their butter blush stuff, that line has been really, really popular, and for a good reason. They're really good. Okay, now these Saie ones came out, oh, I don't know, maybe a month and a half ago, and that's cool toned, and so I had to give it a try. I like the Saie stuff. It is usually very natural looking, very pretty. This one is no different. It's this really buildable, beautiful, and that's what makes that look so much more natural, and it's buildable. That makes it much more wearable. It does have a little bit of sheen in it. So this is like a version of the NYX, but more expensive, that is much more refined and I think much more wearable day to day if you're not looking for a lot of bling. And I actually love it. It is so, so pretty. So this one, I mean, everybody seems to really like this formula. I'll agree. It's nice. It blends well. It makes your cheeks not look like you have clown makeup on. Really, really pretty. I just can't really wear any of the other shades, but this one is nice, light, and buildable. So if you were going to check out one of them, I think that this would be a really good option. Okay, now along those same lines, this is not new, but it's something that it's new to me. I finally picked up. This is from Catkin, and this is their Rosy Blush. And same kind of thing. It's got a little bit of pearlescence to it. So like all of these, honestly, it's like pick one that you think, if you like this kind of look, just pick which one you think has the amount of bling in it and the amount of color that you would actually like to wear on your cheeks. So this is very subtle and very buildable, really nice formula. Catkin's formulas usually are really good. And here, I'm gonna put just a little bit on just to try it. And yeah, there we go. This one is definitely almost more of a highlighter, but it is pink enough to wear on its own. Oh yes, I'm very highlighted now, but I get these on Amazon, definitely worth checking out. And finally, oh my gosh, so forever I have not gotten the Hourglass, like the palettes where they have a bunch of these, where they actually have 6, because I knew like 4 of them I wouldn't use. There was never one where I was like, that's for fair, cool tone skin. They just, I don't know how long they're gonna do it, but they do have an option to go and make your own palette right now. It's not cheap. It's like $75-ish, I believe. But I got everything that I wanted in here. This is gorgeous. Now, I will say that their cool tones, the Hourglass cool tones, is mood. There's the mood blush and then the mood exposure, I believe it is, and then their highlighter, and this is sort of like a blending, sort of highlighting kind of a finish. Not as cool as I would like it to be. However, it is very cool tone friendly, and this is actually like a very natural kind of color on me. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna go over what I have a little bit here. So the blush is definitely, that's got more pigment. I'm going really light because I don't want to go too hard with it, but it's a little bit of, on me it ends up being a little bit more of a reddy color, but it is still natural and is still cool tone friendly. Then the mood exposure is the one that has this mixed in with a bunch of highlighter, so I will move that up here. That one's probably one of my favorites. I actually have several of those that I've actually gone through. And then this one's new to me. This is the one that is just a straight up highlighter, and it is really highlighting. It is really, really pretty, but if you have some texture, you may have to work it in a little bit. But that is kind of why I got this. I don't know if it's called Candlelight or something like that, but this is a good sort of a blending one that sort of just works everything in together and makes it look a lot more natural, in case, so you don't have that like stripe of highlighter. And I love this. I can, this is like a one and done. I can take this, I can travel, although I'm a little afraid that like maybe I'll break it, but it is a really nice, like heavy duty packaging. It's got a nice big mirror on it. You'd have to do something terrible to actually break this, I think, but this is so refined, so beautiful, and I don't know how long they're going to offer this as an option, but I highly recommend, if you are interested and you're like, oh, finally, just, I would go ahead and splurge, because these will last for a really long time. So I love this. This is so useful and so gorgeous. Okay, so I did want to go ahead and pop in here and add one more that I found after I did, actually I'm going to do 2 more that I found after I had done all of my filming, and I was like, I have to add these. These are so nice. So I've had my eye on this forever. I don't know why I didn't pick it up. This is from Sephora. They've had it for a while, but it's so good. It's such a just right color. This is 51 Trust Yourself in their colorful blush. It's not very shimmery. I think there's a tiny bit of shimmer in there, but not that I notice when I put it on. It is very buildable, but if you have really fair skin, it's really nice and see-through, and it allows you to build it up so that it looks really, really natural. I absolutely love this color. It's all I'm reaching for right now, ever since, I mean, literally it was just this week that I found it, and I can't set it down. I use it for everything. It's one of those just right cool tone pinks for me. Love this, and you know, it's the Sephora brand, so it's a lot more affordable, so definitely want to check this one out. And then I ordered this as a bronzer. My favorite bronzer that I have been using for a while is the Laura Geller Fair. It's always hard to find fair bronzers, and I've had my eye on this one, but it's like $48 on Amazon, but it's so pretty. And the fair one, I forget what it's called, Rose Dawn. This is really beautiful, and I'm wearing it today. This has a little more pigment than I would say this one does, and it has more pink in it, which is perfect. I love it. You could get away with wearing this, especially during the summer, just as your blush and bronzer all at once. You know, just it depends on where you put the brush, right? Down here you're a little more bronzy, over here you're a little more of a nice ruddy, just beautiful fresh toned pink, and then you've got this little lavender strip in there that really kind of gives you a little bit of shine and luminosity, but it cools it down too. I love this. This is fantastic. I actually use it a lot to like warm up anything that's too cool. What I use every day now is I kind of go back and forth between these two, just depending on how much color I want, but these are both fantastic. So I know this is expensive, but I can confirm it is good. It is really, really good for fair skin. It's beautiful. Nice buildable formula. More pigment than this one. This one you can get more pigment out of it. It takes a little while to build it up. Okay, so had to add those last two just because I'm using them like every day. They're so, so good, and I just sort of found them at the last minute. Okay, so that's it. Another good round of all new or new to me, very cool tone friendly blush and cheek products that you can definitely go check out if you haven't already tried them. Let me know if you have any questions or if you found any really good finds and you want to share them below. That would be awesome. And if you haven't subscribed and you like this kind of content, I sure would appreciate a like and subscribe, as it really helps my channel to grow, and I appreciate you guys being here. All right, so I think that's it. That leaves only eyes for the next time, so we will do eyes next, and I will see you in the next video.